Hold on to your popcorn, movie lovers. Halloween 2025 was a box office bloodbath, marking the absolute worst weekend of the year for theaters. Yes, you read that right. The weekend meant for screams and thrills turned into a cinematic nightmare. But what exactly went wrong? Let's dive in. Focus Features is likely breathing a sigh of relief that Halloween is over. Instead of moviegoers lining up for the latest blockbusters, theaters were left scrambling for whatever scraps they could find. The spooky holiday cast a long shadow, eclipsing nearly every film on the big screen. But here's where it gets controversial. Was it just the holiday, or were there deeper issues at play? In a surprising twist, the romantic drama, Regretting You, snagged the top spot domestically in its second weekend, pulling in an estimated $8.1 million. It barely edged out Black Phone 2, which earned $8 million in its third weekend. Now, $8 million might sound like a decent chunk of change, but consider this. The entire domestic box office for Halloween weekend totaled less than $49 million. That's a new low for 2025, surpassing a dismal March weekend when Novocaine, starring Jack Quaid, led with less than $9 million. While that weekend's total domestic revenue was slightly better at just shy of $52 million, both weekends are pretty dire. To put it bluntly, that's like trying to fill a swimming pool with a leaky garden hose. What's even more alarming is the lack of fresh, exciting releases. Yorgos Lanthimos and Emma Stone's highly anticipated film, Bugonia, expanded wide, but only managed to scare up $4.8 million against a reported $45 million budget. Ouch. That's a major disappointment for Focus Features. Even more surprising, Bugonia was outperformed by last week's champion, Chainsaw Man, the movie, ReZark, which added $6.2 million to its coffers. Netflix threw its hat in the ring with a limited run of K-pop Demon Hunters, which conjured up an estimated $5.3 million to land in fourth place. And even a classic like Back to the Future, celebrating its 40th anniversary, couldn't save the day, adding $4.7 million at number 6. While that helped, it wasn't enough to revive the overall situation. Globally, the picture wasn't any prettier. Chainsaw Man reigned supreme with an additional $12.5 million internationally. Bottom line, it was a bad weekend across the board. The only brand new wide release was the animated feature Stitchhead from Briarcliff Entertainment. Unfortunately, it only managed to stitch together a paltry $2.1 million, landing at number 9. It trailed behind Tron Ares, $2.8 million, and barely surpassed Good Fortune, $1.4 million, which rounded out the top 10. And this is the part most people miss. Tron Ares is already considered one of the year's biggest flops, and Good Fortune has significantly underperformed expectations. So, to say the industry had nothing to celebrate heading into November is an understatement. It was a downright depressing Halloween for movie theaters. One of the core problems? October 2025 was already a disaster for the box office. A string of flops left theaters with virtually nothing to sustain them as Halloween approached. Studios, understandably wary of releasing big titles into such a volatile market, opted to play it safe. The result? A perfect storm of box office woes. Adding insult to injury, Halloween falling on a Friday hasn't helped. It's the first time that's happened since 2014, which historically spells trouble for movie ticket sales. Back then, Ouija topped the charts with a measly $10.7 million, followed by Jake Gyllenhaal's Nightcrawler opening to $10.4 million. But here's the kicker. That weekend still managed a total domestic gross of $95 million. That's almost double what theaters made this year. The underlying issue is that moviegoing habits have fundamentally changed since the pandemic forced theaters to close their doors in 2020. The market's recovery has been sluggish, and some experts now believe the global box office may never fully bounce back to pre-pandemic levels. This past Halloween weekend served as a stark reminder of that reality. Casual moviegoing used to soften the blow of holidays like Halloween, but those days seem long gone. But fear not, cinema enthusiasts. There's a glimmer of hope on the horizon. While theaters can't afford many more weekends like this, especially after the pandemic and the 2023 Hollywood strikes, there are reasons to be optimistic. Black Phone 2, for example, had a strong $27.3 million opening in late October and has now crossed the $100 million mark globally, making it Blumhouse's biggest hit of 2025. Similarly, while still considered a flop, Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another added another $6.1 million globally in its sixth week. It's now nearing $200 million worldwide and is generating buzz for award season. While the film's hefty $140 million budget is a burden for Warner Brothers, the fact that a thought-provoking movie for adults is attracting audiences is a victory of sorts. It's a win, albeit a heavily qualified one. Looking ahead, November appears far more promising. Wicked, for Good, is projected to open with at least $112 million domestically, with the potential for even greater success. The month will also see the release of highly anticipated films like Predator: Badlands, The Running Man, Keeper, Now You See Me, Now You Don't, and Zootopia 2, all of which are expected to draw crowds. So the near future looks brighter. But that offers little comfort to theater owners struggling to stay afloat right now. Let's hope this Halloween weekend was just a fluke. A scary one, but a fluke nonetheless. But what do you think? Is the movie theater experience dying, or will it make a roaring comeback? Are studios to blame for a lack of compelling releases, or are audiences simply not showing up like they used to? Share your thoughts in the comments below.